Okay, today we are going to understand capacity planning, and capacity planning is part of work center. Work centers are used for routings. Okay, slash and SPRO. But before we actually go into that, CR01 is work center, WC01. What is WC01 and what is work center category? So this is machine that we are taking in consideration. We can have more options, but right now we're just taking the default 01 basic data punching machine. Person responsible is Mr. Jim. I'll say it's Mr. Tim. Usage. Usage only routings 001. Standard value key. Normal production SAP 01, SAP 1. Okay, Mr. Tim does not exist in TC04. What we'll do, we'll go here, SM30. TC04, maintain. When maintenance dialog, continue, maintain. Okay, new entries, plant 8842, Tim 8842, save. Okay, that's been done. Tim, okay, Tim 8842, capacities. So we are talking about this category. Okay, capacity category. Over here we'll have machines, over here we'll have labor as category, because the work center has to be defined, because the machine operates with combination of its own process, which is set up formula, and labor. Okay, so capacity category, and we'll go to SPRO. Basic data, work center, capacity planning, capacity category. Okay, machine. Okay, so we are talking about a machine or a person, or we're talking about other types of categories. Now, as per your process, if your process is different, then of course you'll add those more categories. Okay, machine, and we'll add 001, and over here we'll add 002, and this is 300 punch packaging, for example, punch press. Okay, capacity responsible. SAP 01, grouping. This is necessary. We'll be talking about grouping in just a while. Shift definition. Okay, capacity based unit hours, because the machine will actually consume time. Okay, capacity utilization. machine, grouping. Okay, over here it's 100. Capacity will be maximum 100 and utilization will be number of individual capacities one. In one capacity it will be because machine can be used for 2 to 3 jobs at a time. Okay, so capacity hours, enter. Capacity 02, that is person, labor. Again hours, because a labor will be um grouping. Shift definition. Definition can change, of course, but right now our factory calendar active version, we can also change this, but right now we'll just save it. Setup formula, we'll see this. Okay, we'll see this, but double click capacity category and it will bring you to this. What is being uh, saved here? Setup formula, we'll do this later. Save. Work center was created. Okay, CR0, CR02. Okay, enter. Okay, capacities. Now we'll talk about, now we have configured 01, 02. Okay, and then we'll talk about formulas as well. Setup formula. What are setup formulas? We'll see that. Or we can configure that, for example. Setup formula, processing formula. Now this is formula for making a product. Any ingredient or process, that whole process is basically defined, and this will be used in routing. This will be channelized through routing. Now this is processing formula. For example, I'll just take anything random. Quantity dependent duration, fixed variable duration, PRT F01. Okay, I'll take this, save. Okay, enter. Capacities. So this is formula related. Okay, how? Completely for partial confirmation, final confirmation, proportional to service, or formula related. We'll discuss all this, but right now we'll stick to formula. Okay, I've just used two formulas at random. What are these formulas? We'll just check that. Okay, now we've already done this part, okay, and we've seen the capacity category as well. Now we'll see the shift sequence. Now, what is the shift sequence? We've created the work center. These are the formulas that we'll talk about. Available capacity, shift sequence. Now, what is shift sequence? Now, shift sequence, we've used this shift sequence in our work center. What is this? Work break schedules. Now, for example, your machine that is available, it works in shifts, 24-hour shift, but each shift is of 8 hours. Okay. But during those 8 hours, there are two breaks of 30 minutes for lunch and tea. Okay. HW1 P1 break 1, okay, for 30 minutes. HWP2, and this is for 150. I mean more than 1.5 hours. This is half hour, so this is half of one. Length is half of one. So if you have two breaks, okay, if you have two breaks, then it will be 1 hour. This is 30 minutes, and one will be um 1 hour. So shift definitions, we have uh breaks over here, which are given over here. For example, if I start this from 6 to 14, okay. So this actually gets reduced to 750. Why? Because it is adding 30, it is deducting 30 minutes. Okay. But if I add this 2, then it becomes 8. It shouldn't be 8, it should be 7, but it's not allowed. 1. 750. Okay. Because 750, because your machine is working for 8 hours, but there is a break and there will be a break to the machine. So the machine capacity is now not 8 hours, but 7.5 hours. Okay. What are the shift sequences? These are the shift sequences. On day 1, for this sequence with half hour break, we have HWS1. On day 2 is HWS2, 3, and so on. That's how it is broken up. That's the breakup. Okay. First is HWP1 break schedule. Break means the breaks they're taking for tea and lunch. Then in that shift, we adjust the breaks to calculate all the times of the machines. And the shift sequence in HWP, which is break, we adjust HWS1. What is HWS1? Now, these are the shifts basically. HWS1 is shift. There are 3 kinds of shift: morning, evening, and night. Morning, evening, and night. Okay. So this is attached with your HCM as well. So HW, we have already configured this to work center. Okay, that is a shift sequence. Define period pattern key. Period pattern. Now this is by default given by SAP, like 7 days and 3 days in 1 week. Okay, and 3 shifts in a pattern. Okay. Okay. Available capacity version. We have normal, minimum, maximum. This is in case if there is a sales order, but it is having normal, uh, normal capacity of delivery. I mean, it meets the deadlines, then it will be normal. But if it is maximum, for example, the deadlines are very tight, then of course you'll have to overwork with the machines and the labor. Okay, that is basically how you handle production. If the sales order is small, then of course with minimal capacity you can work your machine. Okay, this is available capacity. Okay, we have done this shift sequence. Let's come down to formulas. Set up formula, work center formula, define formula parameters for work centers. Not this one. Formulas for work centers. Okay, now SAP 01. I'll go back to work order, work center, sorry. Again, CR02. capacities. And over here we have production setup time and F01. F01 PRD quantity. Okay. You can change that as well, but let us just see what this is all about. F01 is SAP 11 into SAP 12. Now, this is basically how you define your process, how it is defined. For example, if you're working in a pharma industry, they will, if you're creating a syrup, now syrup, of course, has many processes, like 11 to 12 processes, but we'll keep it simple. For example, it needs a powder and it needs water or some chemical, anything, preservative. Okay, that being mixed will produce SAP F01, and that will be part of this work center machine. That machine is basically mixing water and that powder for that medicine. Okay, so we have this formula. So where are we getting this SAP 12 and 11? Let me show you that. We are getting this from formula parameters. So I'll go back again because I forgot what was that. F01, double click. SAP 11 and 12. I'll copy this. And I will, okay. And okay, SAP 11 and 12. Okay. SAP 11 and 12 and formula parameters. Next is formula parameters, and we have to find SAP 11. SAP underscore 11 is splits. For example, this is order. This is operation splits. For example, operation splits is a technical term. Operation splits for like order and multiplied by standard value is 1, and this very actually define the values for that, how much of that order are being used, what are dimensions. Okay, SAP 12 parameter 1. Let's say parameter 1 is that water or mixture. That's how you create your formulas. I mean, these are configurable. Just to give an idea. Okay. So this is how you integrate formulas. We've already integrated in our work center. This is our work center, SAP1F. F01, set up formula, how you'll set up the machine to prepare that machine so that it can produce that medicine. Okay. Okay, next is formulas. We've already done this. And as I said, as I actually said, we've already discussed this combination of the mixture, powder and water. Okay. So the shifts, of course, there are like shifts. We've already discussed this as well. Now, work centers capacity planning distribution define default capacity. Okay. What is default capacity? Let's see that. Default capacity 01. Okay. Grouping HW capacity utilization. Now you can actually default 150, whatever is your machine's capability based on your machine model. Okay. And general data, you want to default it or you want to keep it empty, you can keep that empty as well. Yes. Category was created. Okay. Now, next is work center screen sequence. Now, what is work center screen sequence? Now, these are screens, basic data, default values. Now, these are default values. Okay. Default values tab. Okay. And this will be needed for costing, setup, machine, labor, capacities. Okay. Now, what is the sequence that is coming in? That will be uh, decided over here and configured from here. Work center category is 0001. So we'll select 0001 just to make sure what will be the screens that we want to see. Basic data, basic data. Defaults, defaults. So these tabs can be optional or mandatory. So basic is always mandatory. Capacities, capacities, and so on. Okay. So we can actually uh, make sure what fields we can actually keep and what tabs to keep for every work center category. So it will be different for machine, it will be different for labor. Okay. I hope you get the point. Now, next is routing. Routing is a important subject. Okay. Routing, control data, number ranges for routing, intervals. We have intervals over here. If you want to keep routing, which should not follow number ranges, we can keep it external so that your routing is processed, symbolized. For example, mixing. So your routing will be mixing. Next routing will be packing, for example, or quality, whatever. So you can keep it external. Okay. Number status is 5087. Okay, let's see what will be the next routing that is available for us. It should be 5088 if this is allowed and this is assigned. It is not responding, so we'll just go ahead and task lists. Okay, we're done almost. Yeah, zero. It's not responding. It's not responding, I guess. Slow, let's stop over here.